Welcome to the Pacific Northwest edition of America Outdoors Radio. We've got a fast-paced hour of fishing, hunting, and conservation covering the nation and the Northwest, including 13 extra minutes of local content you'll only hear on Seattle's Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Happy Saturday morning. I'm glad you're here, and I hope you get to go fishing this weekend. Duane Inglin, former co-host of Northwest Wild Country and a pro staffer for Potski Baits, will join us again at the bottom of the hour to share some tips about catching those resident coho salmon in the sound that he told you about last week. And Bob Loomis with Mack's Lure Company will be back as well with us at the end of the show to tell you about the Shuttlehawk. It's a unique product that allows you to fish more than one line off a single downrigger. Talk about ingenious. But first, let's tell you what's hot this week in the Pacific Northwest, courtesy of your Puget Sound area Sportsman's Warehouse stores in Everett, Silverdale, Federal Way, and Puyallup. First up, catfishing on Green Lake. If you didn't hear, a 45-pound channel cat was caught out of this urban Seattle lake last month, and the fishing department at the Sportsman's Warehouse store in Everett reports anglers targeting these bottom fish are averaging about 3 per trip. Throw corn, bread balls, and night crawlers around the amphitheater for big fish. And if you catch a 45-pounder, don't be like the last guy and fillet it. Weigh it on a certified scale and contact Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife officials immediately so you can get that bad boy in the record books. If you prefer kokanee over catfish, try Samish Lake in Whatcom County. Josh H., posting on NorthwestFisheryReports.com, had a fantastic morning of fishing last Saturday, getting his 10-fish limit in a hurry and losing 14 more. Josh was fishing one line at 43 feet on the downrigger. It had an Elgin Fishing God's Tooth spoon in 50/50 blue with 12 inches of leader to a prototype Elgin Fishing Dodger. The other line was at 53 feet on the downrigger. It had a 50/50 brass God's Tooth and 12 inches of leader tied to a Mack Double D Dodger. The magic trolling speed, 1 to 1.2 miles per hour. On the northern Oregon coast, the guide's forecast shares the first tuna of the year came in range for anglers out of Garibaldi during the Independence Day holiday week. They were caught about 35 miles out of port on swim baits in 61-degree water. Catches were robust along the southern Oregon coast during this time frame for tuna too, so get ready for some good tuna fishing from Brookings to Garibaldi to Ilwaco in the days ahead. And heading east across the mountains, the big trout bite is on at a couple of places. One of those places is Rufus Woods Reservoir, where Dave Graybill, a.k.a. the Fishing Magician, reports several thousand jumbo triploid trout have escaped from their net pens. The other place to go for big trout, Potholes Reservoir, which has been producing nice sized trout all spring and now into the summer. Pete Fisher at Mardon Resort suggests trolling number 5 and number 7 flicker shads and shad wraps in front of the state park and trolling Mack's wedding ring spinners with a night crawler and a bottom bouncer in 12 to 20 feet of water. Oh, and if you need a place to stay while you're at Potholes Reservoir, look no further than MardonResort.com. Out in the salt water of Puget Sound, the places for Chinook were Marine Area 7 around the San Juan Islands and Marine Area 5 out of CQ, while a number of folks were apparently listening to what Duane Inglin suggested last weekend because there was a definite increase in the number of anglers targeting and catching resident coho salmon in Marine Area 10. So there you go. Now you know what's hot right here in the Pacific Northwest.
That's your first local shot of the outdoors. Now let's see what's going on across the nation.
Sportsman's Warehouse is America's premier outfitter and has the quality gear you need for hunting, fishing, camping, and more. Our knowledgeable and friendly staff will help you find the right product so you get the most out of your time in the field or on the water. In addition to stocking superior clothing and outdoor equipment, we offer in-store events and seminars so you can enjoy a successful adventure. With over 70 stores located in the United States, it's easy to find a Sportsman's Warehouse store near you. Find out more at sportsmanswarehouse.com.
Ready for more local fishing and hunting? You got it. It's the Pacific Northwest edition of America Outdoors Radio, right here on Seattle's Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Guess who's back? That's right. It's that familiar voice on KJR, Duane Inglin, the former co-host of Northwest Wild Country, here today to tell you how to catch those resident coho that are swimming around Puget Sound that he told you about last week. Duane, great to have you back on the show.
Well, John, I must have done okay the first go around, so I appreciate you asking me to come back. Always my pleasure.
Let's talk about catching these coho. Right now, they're 2 to 3 pounds. Later on, they're going to be up to 5 and 6 pounds. We're fishing for them at the moment in marine areas 10 and 11. As we get later into July, it's going to be marine area 9 as well. How do we go about catching them?
There's a couple different ways or approaches you can utilize, and a lot of folks like to troll, which is a pretty productive method anytime you go out after these fish. You want to find water that's in around 150 foot in depth, and you're going to find these coho actually suspended up in that 50, 60, typically no deeper than 75 foot of water. The higher the sun goes in the morning, the deeper these fish will go, because Puget Sound is typically pretty clear this time of year. So you're looking for marks on your electronics in around that 50 foot range. And if you're on the troll, small presentation, these things are actively eating a lot of krill right now. So smaller type spoons, coho killers, things of that nature, cop car, Irish cream, some of your patterns with different greens, glowback will definitely get their attention and do well. Sure to put some scent on the back of your spoons. Anything that is krill, and believe it or not, krill anise, definitely work, and/or some type of shrimp scent.
Any particular flasher or dodger you recommend?
Typically, you can get away with just a standard 9-inch dodger or flasher. Just something chrome with scale tends to draw their attention. And don't be afraid to actually put the downriggers away and mooch cut plug herring for these little guys. Stick with smaller choices of bait. Red label herring is your best option. If you can't get red, go with green. Just cut them back small when you cut plug them and mooch these critters up and down. You're going to do very well in that 50-foot column mooching herring. Again, they're aggressive biters, and they're a lot of fun to catch, especially when they chase your herring all the way to the surface and continue to be after it. Don't roll it into the boat too soon. Drag that thing around the surface of the water, and those coho absolutely smash it. Just be patient and watch them follow it right to the surface.
Sounds like an absolute blast. It's resident coho in the Sound, folks, and now you know how to catch them. Duane, thanks for sharing this with us today on America Outdoors Radio.
NorthwestFishingReports.com is the Northwest's largest fishing reports website, featuring well over 50,000 fishing reports, videos, articles, and more. All 100% free. Catch more fish with Northwest Fishing Reports. Log on today.
Don't leave yet. We've got one more local shot of fishing and hunting to wrap up the Pacific Northwest edition of America Outdoors Radio.
Yep, it's that time again. It's time for another Mack's Minute with Mack's Lure Company. With us again is Bob Loomis. Bob, I'm holding something called a Shuttlehawk in my hand, and I'm not quite sure what I'm supposed to do with it.
Well, John, no, I won't tell you what to do with it. I'll tell you what the application is. Shuttlehawk is actually designed to stack multiple lines on a downrigger cable. Most of the time, you're running a line off of your ball at a certain depth. Well, if I want to fish at, say, 10, 15, 20 feet higher up in the water column because I'm spotting more fish, I can turn around and hook this up to my downrigger cable. I can snap on my line, drop it down to that given depth, and I can now fish not only down at the depth of my ball, but I can also fish at a different depth on that cable according to wherever I want to drop it.
And this is going to be with a second rod?
Correct.
Interesting. So one downrigger, 2 rods, 2 different depths, and you can do it all because of this Shuttlehawk, which I had no idea what to do with just a minute ago.
That's right. That's right. No, you take it and snap your line on there just like you would on a downrigger, but you'll let this thing, actually, as you're trolling forward, you tip up the front of it. It catches the water. The water actually takes it down on the wire itself, and you've got a stopper that you can actually put on your downrigger cable so it'll stop at that given depth, or you fish a line counter reel and go down to the depth that you want to stop at.
Well, there you go. It's called the Shuttlehawk, and it's your way to double your downrigger fishing fun. Look for the Shuttlehawk at sporting goods stores near you or online at maxlure.com.
That's all for this week, but don't worry. We'll do it all again next Saturday morning from 7 to 8, right here on Seattle's Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Hot summer nights mean hot morning fishing for sockeye here in the Northwest, and Mack's Lure Company has got what you need to catch a limit with the Double D Dodger and 2 great sockeye rigs. The Double D Dodger has a unique fast, slow action and can be fished away from the boat without a side planer. The Cha-Cha Sockeye Rig and Double Whammy Sockeye Pro both feature a patented smile blade and 2 stout red hooks that won't let go of that salmon when it bites. Mack's Lure Company, getting you into the sockeye this summer.
Backcountry Hunters and Anglers, a nationwide group working to keep public lands in public hands so future generations can enjoy what we enjoy. Join the group that makes a difference. Check us out at backcountryhunters.org.